You keep acting like you've got forever. Like time is just going to pause for you. Like tomorrow is promised. Like you got this unlimited clock ticking behind you, giving you another chance, another restart, another redo. But you don't. I need you to feel this in your soul. Time is the one thing you don't get back. You can recover money. You can rebuild relationships. You can even restore your health. But the moment you let slip by, the day you waste, the opportunity you ignore because you were too tired, too distracted, too lazy, it's gone. Period. Ain't no rewind button. Ain't no rerun. That's it. And we live like we're rich in time. Like we got time and savings, but we're broke. You don't know when your clock's going to stop ticking, and you think you're going to wait until it's the right season, until you feel more ready. Let me tell you, life doesn't wait for you to be ready. Time doesn't care if you're scared. It doesn't care if you're unsure. It's moving with or without you. The difference is whether you move with it or you watch it pass you by and leave you wondering what could have been. See, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to wake you up. You're out here acting like you got time to play around. Time to hang with people who don't push you. Time to scroll for hours looking at other people live their life while you sit on the sidelines of your own. You think you're chilling? Nah, you're wasting what can never be returned. Time is currency, and you're spending it like it grows on trees. But let me ask you, what are you buying with your time? What results? What progress? What legacy? Because if all you're getting in return is more regret, more frustration, more I wish I had, then you're investing in the wrong thing. And here's the truth. There are no refunds. Life doesn't let you trade back your 20S, your 30S, your 40S because you didn't take it seriously. Some of you keep repeating the same year over and over again. Same habits, same excuses, same distractions, different calendar, but nothing's changing. That's not life. That's existing. That's drifting. That's wasting the gift of breath and time that somebody else would do anything to have. Do you know how many people didn't wake up this morning? How many people prayed for another day that you just wasted? You don't feel it now because you think there's more, but one day you're going to look back and wish you started earlier. Wish you focused harder. Wish you didn't let temporary feelings make permanent decisions. You'll look back and realize all that time you spent worrying about what they thought, comparing yourself to people who ain't even thinking about you, sitting in fear, hiding from your own greatness. That was all time you can't get back. So what are you doing with it? What are you doing with the next 60 seconds of your life? Because every second is a seed. You plant something with every moment, either growth or decay, either progress or procrastination, either building or breaking. Ain't no neutral. You're either going forward or you're falling behind. The question is, are you intentional or are you casual? Because time don't reward casual. It don't bless lazy. It don't hand success to the distracted. It pays the focused, the disciplined, the consistent, the one who shows up even when it's hard. And let me say this, stop saying you don't have time. You do. You just ain't valuing it. You make time for what matters to you. You scroll because it matters. You gossip because it matters. You binge because it matters. So don't lie and say you don't have time. Be real. Say it's not a priority. Say you chose comfort over purpose. Say you pick now over next. But don't say you didn't have time, because you did. You just didn't use it right. And I get it. Sometimes you feel like you've wasted so much that it's too late to start, that you're behind, that you should have done it years ago. But listen to me. You can't do nothing about yesterday, but you got today. And if you maximize today, you take control of the only thing that matters. You want to redeem your time, then stop wasting this moment right now. Get serious now. Move now. Sacrifice now. Because what you do now determines what happens next. And if you want your future to be different, you got to treat your present like it matters. This ain't about being perfect. This ain't about hustling every second. This is about being purposeful, about knowing that every day you wake up, you've been given a non-refundable ticket called time. And the only question is how you're going to spend it. So don't you dare keep giving your time to people, things, and habits that don't take you closer to who you were born to be. Your life depends on what you do with your time. Act like it. Just because something looks good doesn't mean it's for you. Just because it's loud doesn't mean it deserves your attention. Just because it came into your life doesn't mean it belongs in your life. If it's not aligned with your purpose, it's a distraction. And I need you to stop calling distractions opportunities. I need you to stop labeling detours as blessings. Everything that shines ain't gold. Everything that feels good ain't for your good. You got to be clear on what you're here for, what you're building, so you don't let what's irrelevant pull you off track. See, when you don't know what you're aiming at, everything seems important. Every invite, every DM, every link, every opinion. And you end up chasing things that don't feed your future. You end up tired, not because you're working hard, but because you're scattered. You're chasing 10 different things, none of which align with your calling. And then you wonder why you're burnt out, frustrated, stuck. It's not because you lack effort. It's because your effort is divided. You're pouring yourself into the wrong things. And the reason it ain't growing is because it was never meant to. Some of you are so busy but not effective, so active but not productive. You check off lists, but none of those boxes move you closer to your vision. That's not grind. It's distraction disguised as hustle. Some of you are so busy but not effective. Something unproductive, something impactive, something positive. If it doesn't feed your fire, it's feeding your fatigue. You got to stop trying to do what looks right and start doing what is right for you. You got to stop letting everybody have access to your energy. Every text doesn't need a reply. Every conversation doesn't deserve your presence. Every trend doesn't require your participation. You're not here to fit in, you're here to fulfill. And fulfillment only happens when you stay aligned, when your actions match your assignment, when your schedule reflects your standards, when your focus is locked in on the thing that matters most. But the reason some of you keep drifting is because you haven't sat down long enough to ask the hard question, what am I really here for? Until you answer that, you'll keep entertaining what's not for you. You'll keep saying yes to things that break your rhythm. You'll keep letting people into your life that interrupt your peace. And here's the truth. Some people aren't bad. They're just not meant to walk with you on this path. But because you don't want to hurt feelings, you keep dragging dead weight. You keep explaining your dreams to people who don't even understand the language of growth. You keep asking permission from people who've never been where you're going. That's a distraction. Your purpose needs room. It needs silence sometimes. It needs boundaries. You can't say yes to everything and expect to stay aligned. You got to learn to say no without guilt. No to what wastes time. No to what steals focus. No to what dims your light. No to what looks good but pulls you from greatness. You can't walk in destiny if you're constantly dancing with distractions. You can't walk in destiny if you're constantly dancing with distractions. You can't fulfill your assignment if you're addicted to approval. You can't move forward if you keep checking to see who's watching. And look, I know you've got responsibilities. I know people pull at you from all directions. I know life gets loud, but you've got to protect your focus like it's gold, because it is. Your purpose is too expensive to be interrupted by cheap distractions. Your time is too valuable to be spent on things that don't multiply. You can't afford to give your best energy to what doesn't return anything back to you. That's how you end up drained and defeated. That's how dreams die slowly, by 1,000 little distractions that don't seem like a big deal until you wake up a year later and realize you're still in the same place. Every time you say yes to what doesn't serve your vision, you're saying no to what does. You're pushing your breakthrough one step further. You're delaying your next level because you keep getting caught in cycles that look harmless but are actually holding you hostage. You don't rise by accident. You rise by intention, by clarity, by sacrifice. You don't get aligned by default. You get aligned by design. You decide what matters. You decide what gets your energy. You decide who stays and who doesn't. That's on you. And if you're serious about becoming who you were created to be, you've got to cut the noise. Cut the clutter. Cut the habits, the people, the patterns that keep you distracted. You've got to lock in. Not halfway. Not when it's convenient. Lock all the way in. Because purpose don't play with the undisciplined. Purpose doesn't wait for you to feel like it. Purpose is looking for someone who's willing to shut out the world and do what needs to be done, even when it's not fun, even when it's not seen, even when it costs. So the next time something comes your way, before you say yes, before you jump in, before you waste another hour, ask yourself, is this aligned with my purpose, or is it pulling me off track? Because your future depends on the answer. You keep thinking the world's going to wait on you. You keep telling yourself you've got time to figure it out, that you'll get serious next week, next month, next year, as if time moves according to your feelings. But here's the reality. The world doesn't wait for anybody to get serious. Life keeps moving. The game keeps going. Whether you show up or not, whether you're ready or not, somebody else is already lacing up, already grinding, already executing on the very thing you keep saying you want to do. It don't matter how talented you are if you don't show up. It don't matter how smart you are if you don't move. Potential means nothing if it just sits there collecting dust. And some of you are stuck in the same place, not because you lack ability, but because you keep hesitating. You keep postponing purpose. You keep putting off the work because you're waiting for the conditions to feel right. You keep thinking you'll act when the timing's perfect. Let me tell you something. There is no perfect moment. There's only right now. You think life is going to pause for you to catch your breath? You think the opportunity is going to sit around until you finally feel motivated? No, it's not. While you're talking, somebody else is walking. While you're planning, somebody else is producing. While you're doubting yourself, somebody else is developing themselves. And the difference between where you are and where they are, they moved, you didn't. They understood that action beats intention every time. You keep saying you want it. You keep saying you're ready. But your actions keep saying otherwise. You say you want to be great, but you don't train like it. You say you want to make an impact, but you keep letting fear hold the mic. You say you're tired of being stuck, but you keep doing the same things that got you stuck in the first place. You keep showing up with that maybe energy, and you expect definite results. Nah, it don't work like that. You got to stop treating your calling like a side hustle. You got to stop waiting until life is comfortable to commit. The people who make it, they're not the ones who had it easy. They're not the ones who waited for approval. They're the ones who said, I don't have time to waste. I may not be perfect. I may not have it all figured out, but I'm going to show up anyway. That's what separates the average from the excellent. Not talent, not luck, just pure consistency and conviction. And here's what hurts the most. You don't even know the doors you've already missed because you weren't ready. The connections you could have made, the promotions you could have earned, the breakthroughs you could have experienced, all because you hesitated, all because you were scared to start, scared to fail, scared to look foolish. And now you're not just behind on your goals, you're behind on your destiny. And the scary part is, the longer you wait, the easier it gets to stay waiting. Momentum is a powerful thing. Once you get moving, it's hard to stop. But the reverse is true too. The longer you sit still, the heavier it feels to move. And if you let enough days pass without taking action, eventually it turns into a lifestyle. Procrastination isn't just a bad habit. It becomes a way of living, a rhythm of delay, a soundtrack of not yet that plays on repeat until you die with your potential still locked inside you. The The world doesn't care about your excuses. Life doesn't reward intentions, it rewards execution. That's the harsh truth. You either show up or you get left behind. And I know that's not easy to hear. I know you want grace, you want understanding. And listen, I get it. We all struggle, we all battle doubt, we all fall behind sometimes. But at some point, you've got to wake up and realize that nobody's going to hand you the life you dream about. You've got to build it. You got to fight for it. You got to decide that now is the time. Not later, not eventually, now. You say you want to level up, then act like it. Start carrying yourself like someone who takes their future seriously. Start talking like someone who values their time. Start walking like someone who's already walking in their purpose. Stop waiting for signs. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the mood to hit you. Discipline is greater than emotion. Sacrifice is greater than motivation. And movement is greater than meditation. You keep asking for clarity, but you don't need more clarity. You need more courage. Because deep down, you already know what you're supposed to be doing. You already know the move. You just don't want to face what it's going to cost. But listen, the longer you avoid the cost, the higher the price becomes. And one day, you're going to look back and realize you spent your whole life preparing, but never producing. Practicing, but never playing. Dreaming, but never delivering. You don't know how many more chances you'll get. All you really have is this one right here. And if that don't light a fire under you, I don't know what will. Because you're not just wasting time, you're wasting your chance. And life won't slow down to give it back to you, so you better start now. You better move now. You better get serious now. Your future self is watching you, listening to you, counting on you. Every single choice you make today is either helping that future you breathe easier or making their life harder. You keep thinking it's just a small decision, just a quick scroll, just one more delay. But every moment, every action, every habit, it adds up. You don't build a powerful life overnight. You build it one intentional day at a time. You stack wins. You commit to consistency. You stop treating life like a lottery and start treating it like a legacy. See, the problem isn't that you don't have dreams. You've got big dreams. You got vision. You got goals that keep you up at night. But what you lack isn't passion. It's precision. It's direction. You keep waiting for some big moment to change everything when the truth is, it's the small stuff. It's what you're doing when no one's watching. It's how you spend that extra hour at night. It's whether you snooze or get up. It's whether you spend your time reacting or preparing. You think the future is far off. Nah, it's here. It's being built every second you breathe. And whether you believe it or not, you're either building something beautiful or you're slowly breaking it down. Some of you are praying for a future you're not preparing for, asking for a level you haven't built the discipline to sustain, and you wonder why it hasn't come yet. It's because you haven't made space for it. You want the breakthrough, but your habits don't match. You want the results, but your routine says otherwise. You want people to take you seriously, but you keep living casually. You say you want more, but you're not doing more. Not the hard stuff. Not the focused stuff. And it's not because you're incapable, it's because you're not being intentional. Intentionality means you stop living on autopilot. It means you wake up and choose your life instead of just reacting to it. It means you look at your time like it's sacred. You ask yourself, does this move me forward or set me back? You stop wasting energy on things that don't multiply. You cut conversations that go nowhere. You drop habits that drain your focus. You don't just let the day happen. You own the day. That's what it takes. Because your future isn't created in big flashy moments. It's created in silence. It's created in sacrifice. It's created in saying no when it's easy to say yes. It's created in making yourself uncomfortable long enough for growth to kick in. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying every day will feel exciting. That's not real life. You're going to have days when you want to quit. Days when no one sees your effort. Days when your progress feels invisible. But listen to me. Every intentional step still counts, even when it's small, even when it's slow, even when it feels like nothing's happening. something is happening. Because every seed planted in discipline eventually becomes fruit. It doesn't lie. It just takes time. And most people don't get what they want out of life because they're not willing to be patient enough to stay intentional when the results are invisible. You've got to look at your life like a builder, a foundation layer. You're not just living for today's comfort. You're building for tomorrow's strength. You're not doing this so you can coast. You're doing this so your future doesn't collapse under pressure. That's why you make the call. That's why you hit the gym. That's why you study when you're tired. That's why you say no to people who don't get it. Not because it feels good, but because it's necessary. Because you're making a deposit into a future that you actually want to live. You know it's painful looking back and realizing that you were the reason your future got delayed. Not life, not bad luck. You, your habits, your laziness, your distractions. That regret right there, that hits harder than any sacrifice ever will. I'd rather feel the pain of discipline today than the pain of regret tomorrow. I'd rather make tough choices now and be proud of what I built later than live easy now and be stuck in a reality I settled for. And I get it. Life is busy. You've got responsibilities. You've got people pulling on you. But even in all that, you've got a choice. You can either live your life reacting to everything and everyone, or you can decide that your future is worth fighting for, worth protecting, worth planning around. When you understand how valuable your time is, how high the stakes are, how much your future depends on today's behavior, you stop letting nonsense distract you. You stop letting comfort win. You stop letting excuses lead. There's going to come a time when your future self is standing in the mirror looking back at you, either thanking you or blaming you. Thanking you for showing up when it was hard. Thanking you for choosing focus over fun. Thanking you for setting the standard and sticking to it. Or blaming you for wasting years on things that didn't matter. Blaming you for letting people's opinions control your moves. Blaming you for not believing in yourself when it counted most. That choice, that future, it's in your hands right now. Not later, not once everything lines up, right now. So, don't keep giving your time away to things that won't matter next month. Don't keep postponing your greatness, waiting for the perfect moment. Don't keep pretending you got forever. Be intentional. Move with purpose. Respect your time like your future depends on it, because it does.